For today's lesson, we are going to be making penguin bookmarks. So, let's get started. Materials you will need are a pair of scissors, a number 2 pencil, a piece of chalk, a glue stick, and an orange marker. You will also need a black sheet of construction paper, a white sheet of construction paper, a sheet of construction paper of the color of your choice, and a piece of cardstock. I cut this out of an old folder, but you can use a cereal box lid or a 12-pack can box. For the first step, you'll need your cardstock and your orange marker. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to color as much of this piece of cardstock as possible because we are going to need it to make the nose of our penguin. And we're doing it first so that it will dry by the time we need to use it. So we're going to give it a nice orange color, and I'm going to color as much as I can without getting my fingers all orange. And there we go, we have a nice orange. And I'm going to set this aside to dry for now. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to take out my black piece of paper and my piece of chalk, and I'm going to draw the outline of my penguin. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw 2 lines going vertically. So I'm going to draw 1 line, and not all the way to the top, but almost all the way to the top. And depending on how wide you want your penguin to be will be how far you draw your second line. So I'm going to draw my second line here. I'm going to draw it the same length as the first line I drew, almost. And then the next step is to give him the top of his head, so I'm going to draw a round top to his head. Now, it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, because you're going to use this just as a guideline to cut out your shape. Also, I'm going to need 2 wings for the side of our penguin, and I'm going to do that by drawing 2 quarter circles, and I can do this easily by drawing a line straight across, and I'm going to draw a half circle just like I did here. So I'm going to draw another half circle. Now you can make his wings as big as you want or as little as you want, but I'm going to give him just medium-sized wings, and I'm going to draw a half circle. All right, and then to give him 2 wings, I'm just going to cut that half circle down the middle when I get to that part. Now that we're finished with this part, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to get out my white piece of paper. And on my white piece of paper, I'm going to need to draw 3 circles, 2 for his eyes and 1 for the ball on the top of his hat. So I'm going to draw 2 circles, and I'm going to do the best I can using my number 2 pencil, not too dark. I'm going to try to draw 2 circles that are the same size. Now, I don't want to draw them too close together because that'll make it harder to cut. I'm going to draw them as far apart as I can and not waste too much paper. Now, for the ball on the top of his hat, I'm going to draw a smaller circle because it doesn't need to be as big as his eyes. All right, now that we're done drawing that, we're going to draw our last thing, which will be on your piece of paper, and this will be the base for the hat. Now, you can draw anything from a simple triangle, so you can just draw a triangle that goes straight up and straight down. You don't want it to be bigger than his head though, so you kind of want to take a little bit of a measurement. And now that you have a very simple hat. Or you could do something a little bit crazier and draw a line on the bottom and make a squiggly line hat that squiggles up and squiggles down. The choice is up to you on what kind of hat you're going to make for your penguin. You can draw either shape. And now that this piece is dry, I'm going to finish and draw the 2 feet that I need and the nose. So I'm going to take this orange piece I colored earlier that's now dry, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to draw the nose of the penguin. Now it's going to be a simple triangle, but I want you to keep in mind that you're going to need to glue a small section to the bookmark. So if you want to, you can take your marker and you can just quickly trace on either side of your marker. And that should give you 2 lines where you will glue down your nose for your penguin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that box and leave that there, and I'm going to draw, going down, a triangle to a point. And you can put a dot there so it makes it easier to draw, and that will give me my nose. I also need 2 triangles for my feet, so I'm going to draw a triangle over here and a triangle over here, because that is how much paper I have to use. Now I drew it on the back so I wouldn't have pencil lines after I cut it. There we go. Now that we have all our pieces, it's time to cut everything out. Whoops, I almost forgot. Our penguin needs a tummy, so we have to give him the white of his belly. So I need to figure out how big he is. Then I'm going to move my paper over a little bit, and I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to match up that line to the edge, and I'm going to draw a line on that edge too. Alright, that way I know that it's going to be skinnier than the penguin. So I'm going to cut the same type of shape I did for the penguin, and I'm going to round it off at the top. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to round it off. Like so. Alright, I thought I was missing something. I said it doesn't look like a penguin, but now it's getting there. Alright, let's get back to cutting. Okay, well now that we have everything cut out, the next step is to glue everything together. And we're gonna have to do this in a certain order. So let's start with just the body and all the pieces next to it. And what we're gonna do first, we're going to glue the stomach onto our penguin. So we're going to glue the white piece onto our penguin. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on the back. And we are going to glue his stomach right onto him. This will give him the white look of his belly. Alright. The next step is we are going to glue on our feet. So grab one of his orange little feet and you can glue these down at the bottom. Once we've glued on the feet, we can flip our penguin over, and we're going to glue his wings onto the back of him. So I'm going to pick this one up, and I've turned the chalk side to the back. I'm going to put a little strip of glue on the edge of the wing here on one of the sides of the circle, and I'm going to flip it over and glue it down where I think his wings would be on our penguin. I'm going to do the same for the other one. A little bit of, so you're going to set it down, make sure you glue it in the right edge. You don't want his wing to be upside down. Glue in the right edge and the right side, and you're going to stick that one onto his back like so. Alright, next we're going to flip him back over, and we're going to glue down his eyes. So you're going to pick up his eyes, and you can put his eyes inside of his head. You can put them outside of his head a little bit. It is up to you. Depending on the size of your eyes, maybe they're going to be close together, or you can put them as far apart as you want. This will give your penguin a little bit of character. So I suggest you play around with it and put your eyes where you think they look the best. I think they look good there, so I'm going to put them there. Okay, we're getting there, getting close to the end. All right, next we're going to do is the nose. So you can pick up the nose, and remember you have that square. Now you can set down your nose, and if you think it's too big, You can cut a little bit off, but I really like the size of my nose for my penguin, so I'm going to leave it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down only inside that square that I drew earlier, the square that was the size of the marker that I had traced. And I can actually just even give it a little bit of bend there, and I'm just going to glue, so I only put glue right there on that edge, and I'm just going to glue that to the face of the penguin, like so. I'm going to hold it down, make sure this part is glued really well. All right, and that's good. All right, the next thing we have to put on is the hat, so you can flip your penguin back over. And I haven't decided what hat I want to use. Do I want to use the pointy hat, or do I want to use the wavy hat? Ooh, I like the wavy hat a lot better, so I'm going to use the wavy hat, and I'm going to flip the penguin over like I said. And again, like I did the wings, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the edge, and then I'm going to stick it onto the back of the penguin. So just a little bit of glue. Oh, his hat's a little crooked. Oh, that's too much. So I want to put it over here on this side. All right, he's looking good. Uh-oh, I might have to put a little bit more glue. I'm going to put some glue on the penguin and on this. All right. There we go. Okay, cool. He's got a cool stylish hat. All right, and then the last part is you can take your little tiny ball that you're going to put on the end of his hat. You're going to stick it on top. Now you're all done with your glue, and you can get out your pencil because we will put on the finishing touches now. If you have a pencil, that's fine. I'm going to choose to use a marker at this point so that it shows up better on my camera. I noticed that some of the pencil did not show up that well during the demonstration process. So I have a marker here, and I'm going to finish off by drawing in the inside of his eyes. So I'm going to just draw a little dot in the center, and I like to make them a little bit U-shaped so that they look like they have a little bit of shine, and it gives it a little bit more character. So like a C or a half a Cheerio will do. And you can also decorate your hat. So once you're done putting the eyes in, oh, that looks pretty good. You can decorate your hat by putting maybe a stripe on it. Maybe a cool zigzag. And maybe a few dots. Now that we've finished with our project, let me show you how to use it. So let's say you're done with your homework and you get to sit down right before bed and you start reading The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. And you're reading, and you're reading, and you're reading, and you start to get tired, and you want to take a break, so you grab your bookmark and you put him on the page where you left off, and then put his nose over the page you just read, and you can close your book for the night, and he'll be there waiting for you in the morning. Well, I hope you liked this lesson. Till next time, bye.